I'll say that there are some dishes that are pretty good. There are some dishes that are okay, and there are some that I just do not want to touch.
I do love food from my culture because, first of all, my mom makes it, so it's super good.
I love Hmong food. I would say I love the majority of my culture's food just because it brings back memories of home. I really do love food from my culture. Like, I am a foodie. Like, I don't deny it.
Some of my favorite dishes that happen to be the ones that I see the most: papaya salad, lap. The general base is just ground pork or beef or whatever kind of meat you want to use, and you just kind of eat it with like a sticky rice bowl.
The Hmong people, they don't really have like a specific dish, or like when we do, it's very plain. The Hmong people kind of incorporate it from like other cultures, so like the sweet pork is like really tasty. I also like the different like la. I think that my dad makes like the best one. Oh man, that's a hard question. Well, pho. I'm Vietnamese, so pho definitely pho. It's just a good mix of noodles and broth, and also the different like meats and vegetables you can put on it, and it's something you can just eat at any time of the day. Bún bò Huế, which is basically the underrated noodle dish, usually. Another dish I like is chè, which is pretty much a dessert.
I'd say chicken adobo, lumpia, and lechon is probably like my favorite.
I think in Vietnamese food, what's different, I guess, like really unique about it is like the way we utilize like spices and herbs and stuff is a little different. They make really kind of like strong aromas that are very like pleasant to smell. Fish sauce, that always seems to be in there somewhere in the dish. Lots of fresh vegetables, which are always great. When you look at it just on the table, usually there's like some kind of protein, a soup, and it's usually like a vegetable soup. Trying to be well balanced with the food is what comes with Vietnamese culture.
Pork and greasy, very filling. It feels like your heart's about to stop.
But in a good way,
In
right?
a good way, yeah.
There's a common misconception where most Lao and Thai food are super spicy, and that's not the case at all. It can be very spicy if you really want it to be, but you can still make the same dish and it not be spicy at all. Tom Sum is typically spicy, and you can make it incredibly spicy to where you want to cry, or you can just have it so it has a little kick so you know that there's something there.
I would say it's very earthy. We use a lot of bay leaves and what are those lime stems called? I forgot what they're called. But we use a lot of that in our dishes, and then it's very plain and simple. Make the stock, add the meat and your vegetables, and then add some salt, and that's a very basic Hmong dish.
So at a personal level, I've never had fusion food as often as I feel like I should. In terms of like, the pho burrito, for example. At first, I didn't feel right about it. Mixing a soup with a burrito kind of seems really strange, but it actually worked out together.
I think it's a really good thing because it really allows like people of different culture to have a taste of it, especially like the Asian background. We use a lot of like weird things like the pig brain. Being able to like have that fused into like American dishes, it kind of like gives them a taste of it. I think it's great that you're trying to play around with all of the flavors, but as long as you pay homage to the original source, realizing the tradition behind it and why those flavors are there in the first place. The fear with fusion is that you're going to lose the culture altogether. Another side of that story, Americanized food for me means that you're diluting the flavors down to something that's very just basic. I don't know, like just not as strong as what the culture would really have it be originally.
I would recommend a whole traditionally roasted lechon. Lechon is an entire pig with like crispy skin, and you got like really good like vinegar dipping sauce with some rice. It's over. Like they'll get hooked onto that.
Boiled chicken with mole pepper, it's just a very like you just feel really warm when you eat it. So I would recommend that.
Everybody should try in some way, shape, or form is lab. It's so typically made that it can have a flair to it in any sort of way. It could have a Mexican flair, it could have a Vietnamese flair, probably is Vietnamese in some sort of way. It being such an open dish, you can just take it anywhere you want to go.
Try bánh xèo, which is kind of like a crepe in the inside. They like put like shrimp and like bean sprouts and other vegetables in it. You dip it into like fish sauce or something.
As I said earlier, bún bò Huế, it's a lot stronger than what pho is, and there's spice in it, and yeah, it just hits you when you eat it, which is great because I love that. Not a lot of people really realize how great that is as a dish, so I would recommend trying that.
Before my family left for America, we had like a huge feast, like all my cousins, my aunties, uncles. We just had everything laid out on like the banana leaves, the whole caveat of Filipino food. You can pretty much get everything with your hands. So it was like super traditional, and that's like how we mostly ate at family gatherings.
Just like going to family events and just getting your plate and like getting all the food that they have. Like freshly made egg rolls, you just like, because you're young, so you really want it, and then your mom would like get one for you and you just eat it. It's a very fun memory.
When I finally discovered how to make my mom's soup, it seems pretty typical, but it has her own like little Lao fling to it. For the most part, she only really cooks it when she's like cooking for her family or when somebody is sick or getting sick. It was my favorite food memory because I used to cook it all the time until I realized I had to dumb down the portions because I'm used to cooking for a big family of 5 versus 2 people.
I went to a Vietnamese school in Portland called Lavang. So like when I was like a kid, I'd always buy this kind of like squarish thing, rice that looked red. It's called soy. From like kindergarten to 12th grade. Like that was like always like my lunch special. For some reason, I just loved that red rice. There was a teacher in my class who'd always like hand me like soy for like doing well and stuff. Kind of like throughout my life, I just kept eating soy because it was like kind of a reminder that I always did well, that I should just keep going.
Food with my family in general is trying to get all the kids involved with the process and helping make the dishes. My grandma used to do that a lot when I was little. She would say that like you get an incentive if you help out in the kitchen because you get to taste the food first. I was always like first in line to help cook because I would want to taste the food before everybody else, knowing that like all the hard work that like all my family members put in it to make it really good, and then all of us gather around the table and eat family style, and that's just always the best part with food in our family. So